Hello and welcome to today's show. European ECS coming your way and some North America a bit later on. I'm joined by Dan. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Double Cobblestone, so that's awesome.
I didn't ask you what shirt you were wearing today.
Yeah.
We always coordinate to try not to wear the same shirt. But today I was in a rush and I'm screwed down, you know. I'm just going to wear black and he's not going to wear black. And you see, he hasn't worn black. It's marvelous. Right then, Virtus.pro versus Dignitas, going to be our first two games of the day. Again, just a quick explanation of the format. It's a home and away system, just like Premiership football, for example. So the away team vetoes 2 maps. The home team picks from the remaining 5. So in this case, both teams picked Cobble when they were at home.
Yeah, and it's obviously a really cool matchup. The problem is that Virtus.pro tend to be quite the... they don't do as well online, and I think there's I feel like I have a good explanation as to why. But the problem is they will be up against Dignitas, and Dignitas, they've definitely been improved in form lately, and it's a really good map for them as well. So we might actually have a really close matchup between these two teams, where Dignitas might even come out the victors. I think it's quite hard to predict, but in a good way, not like last night, which was different. But we won't talk about that, James. We won't talk about last night. We won't talk about that.
Second 2 matches will be G2 versus Godsent. G2 have opted for Overpass and Godsent have opted for Train. Quite interesting to find out what Godsent's home maps will end up being once they get there. Who knows if they're even there just yet? I'm not sure. They are not doing well at the moment, but I'm not too concerned myself because it's still early days, and they've got the brains to do well, and they've got the skill to do well as well. It's just about making it actually work. So I think over time they'll have better results. Obviously things are disappointing for them at the moment, but fingers crossed that moving forward they will just continue to improve. So I do wonder, you know, at a poker table they say that if you can't find the fish, then the fish is you, right? You do wonder if Godsent are going to be the targets of everybody else in the league in that sense. Like, are they expected to do the worst in the European League?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to predict, isn't it, at the moment? Especially with the factor of some of the online matches, like teams that you would expect to do well, that would do better in the LAN environment, won't do as well in the online environment because they're two very different things, very different dynamics, and it's not really it's not kind of like a cop-out as it used to be. I think there's like a legitimate thing going on there. Again, we can probably get in. There'll be moments to get into that later on, I imagine. But I think for now, for me, it's quite unpredictable how the league is. I think it always ends up a little bit unpredictable. Every time we do ECS or previously the FACEIT League, I never could quite our expected results never quite turned out as we thought. So except Astralis, they used to always have really, really good times in our leagues.
Yeah, they won the first one.
But this is maybe this is the time when they just get completely wrecked. Who knows?
They won the first one last year. Interesting, Astralis actually. Again, I don't know if we covered it on stream or if we were off stream talking about it, but obviously, Karrigan's been benched, and people have been saying that that Astralis are in talks with Glaive. I have no idea if that's true or not, but it seems that he's basically been removed from the team until they can get somebody to permanently replace him. Basically. I don't see why else you would bench someone. You know, I think there were times in the past. If you look at Nothing from Cloud9, for example, he was accused of not practicing properly and so on. And I feel like in that sense, you can bench someone to show them, like, if you remember, like Alex Ferguson, David Beckham thing, right? Alex Ferguson had a lot of issue with the stuff that David Beckham did elsewhere, and then he sold David Beckham because David Beckham became bigger than the club, and the club comes first, right? So in that kind of sense, like you bench someone as a way to try and get some discipline into them. I don't think that's the case on this occasion, though. But I do think that's something that would be interesting in certain scenarios, as perhaps with Nothing in the past, for example. But yeah, I'm thinking that Karrigan is just on the bench until he can be jettisoned from the bench.
It's funny though, because when Zonic comes up to you, it's like, you're benched. There's no argument there. There's no argument there.
He's not a small guy.
He's a big man, and he's always very serious looking. I feel like I've never seen him smile, but if I have seen him crack a smile, maybe it's only like a small smirk, and I feel like there's evil there. So I don't know with Zonic if you want to mess around with him. But yes, it's a strange one. It's hard to say because to me Karrigan was I feel like one of the safer players because he brought the amount of stuff, the value that he brought to the team was pretty huge. But and their honestly their issues were always seemingly psychological because they always had all the pieces, and we saw them execute the pieces often enough. But then when it really mattered, they couldn't put it together, or if they were in a position where they had to close down a game, or where they had a big advantage to close down a game, it seems like various players would just shut down, and so it just seemed purely psychological. So that's really interesting. Maybe a fresh lineup is what they need to help them bring themselves out of that. But I don't think that it necessarily will help them to bench Karrigan for now. But we'll see. I guess everything's been failing really hard for them, and their expectations for themselves are so high that they probably feel like compelled they have to do something. So I guess we'll see if it works.
Yep. Back to the first match though. Let's have a look at how these teams have been faring up on Cobblestone as of late. So you can see. It's almost identical, 20 in some senses, 21 games for Virtus.pro and 19 for Dignitas. It's pretty much the same in terms of win rate actually, which is quite interesting. Virtus.pro are significantly stronger on the pistol rounds though, it seems. So I'm very curious to see how those go. And again, pistol rounds can win or lose you matches sometimes, or at least make the score more reasonable than it otherwise might be, which is something we saw yesterday. Well, something we should have seen yesterday, but then we ended up with 2 overtimes. So
the pistol round win off the first kill is something I think is kind of surprising actually, because that was like 78% but for both teams. And I feel like pistol rounds are so chaotic and seemingly random. Like some guy can easily pop a bunch of heads, and it's not necessarily anything to do with positional advantage or anything like that. It just can happen. It just can happen in the chaos. That it's quite amazing that there's that strong of a correlation. I mean, 80% basically is pretty huge. But although the sample size isn't that massive, but either way, I think this will be an interesting matchup to see if Dignitas with cajunb have a stronger Cobblestone. I know Dust was talking previously when he was here about how he really loves Dignitas because he feels like what MSL can do with the team on Cobblestone on the T side is one of the most beautiful parts of Counter-Strike that he's seen, or one of the things that he appreciates the most at the very least. So it'd be quite cool to see how that develops with Dignitas with cajunb still, because I do feel like the Cobblestone got a little bit weaker with cajunb initially. cajunb obviously coming from Astralis, and that was a map that Astralis never really played Cobblestone that much, and it was definitely a weak point for them. So losing Kirby definitely lost them some of the value initially, but that was a while ago now. So you would expect at this point that they would be able to shore it up and have this be one of their stronger, if not strongest maps again.
Yeah, the main thing for Dignitas is consistency. I find you always feel like they should be more consistent than they are. They should be winning more than they are, more and so on and so forth. And they don't get as far in tournaments as you would expect them to. So I being a guy who likes the little detail and the strategies and tactics and so on, I like watching Dignitas. So it can be somewhat frustrating when they don't quite make it there. There have been more frustrating teams in the past though, namely Hellraisers, a perennially frustrating side. But again, Dignitas, you do wonder, is this the half? It's a year is a very long time in Counter-Strike. So I'd say, is this the kind of period of 6 months where they will finally reach people's expectations?
Yeah, Dignitas finally seem to also have this situation where, because they are one of the stronger teams.
What?
What did you?
Because I can.
Just run. Okay. Because they're kind of, I mean, you brought this point up last time on the broadcast, I think, because they're in this period now where they are essentially the best Danish team all of a sudden. This is the first time that's kind of happened for an MSL team, and usually it's like other bigger teams are like, oh, we need a player right now. Oh, let's steal this guy from Dignitas. That's happened multiple times, and so it seems like every time MSL would try to build something with the team, he'd always be hamstrung in some way or another, just as he was gaining momentum with the side, and you can see there's so much frustration in that sense. But now finally, they're in a position where they've seen the improvement, they're getting some results, and they are the best team in their very respected region. So that really should change a lot for them. It's the first time we've really seen this.
It is, but the thing is, they're the best team because Astralis aren't winning matches.
Yeah, true.
As opposed to they're the best team because they're better than Astralis, and those two things.
Well, I guess, I mean, you can make the argument that because they can win matches and Astralis can't, that makes them better than
I know,
Astralis.
but you know what I mean. Like, rather than your rivals' decline, it's better if it's your ascendance, right?
Yeah,
and it's not.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe they're in the shadow of Astralis in that respect, and it's a bit of both.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's not as much value as if Astralis were at their regular strength. But Astralis is such a weird one. I'm really curious about their storyline because at least with Astralis, they weren't frustrating in the same degree as for me Mousesports were frustrating. Like Mousesports were always able to do very well, get quite far because they were quite skilled, but they just could never pull things together like strategically, and it'd always be so much internal strife in that way that you would see them have like stints of amazing Counter-Strike mixed in with like really like polar opposite appalling Counter-Strike from like the strategical sense in many spots. And it would just blow your mind how they would be able to have that level of inconsistency and how that would be such a problem for them, and so made it very frustrating to watch them for many people. And I mean, Dignitas, I don't know. I mean, they are consistently getting better and better. I feel like slowly but surely. It's like, you know, the what is the thing, the tortoise and the hare, a little bit. I feel like they are the tortoise. They're getting there, James.
How does the tortoise even beat the hare in that story? I can't remember.
Because they have like, it's like, oh, I'm so far ahead. It's about complacency. It's like, I'm so good, I'm so far ahead. I'll go take a nap over there by the tree, and the tortoise just keeps going, and eventually the hare's like, oh my god, I slept too much. I think that's how it goes, and then the tortoise.
That story's ridiculous, though, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's
why wouldn't you just win the race and then sleep?
You've also thing like, because I guess it's partly about the hare just being more of a sprinter, being really fast, having a lot of, you know, just. It has way more speed, right? And then it's like, oh, I'm feeling a bit tired. I don't have to try very hard because I'm better than the tortoise. Tortoise, look how crap and slow the tortoise is. I can just go and chill here. Just, you know, slack off a little bit, be a bit complacent. Oh god, I've lost.
I feel like there's a better way to do that story than a hare going to sleep instead of winning a race and going to sleep.
If that's,
it seems illogical to me.
That's how I remember it, but I might have misremembered it. So.
No, I think you're on the right track. But that's
obviously it's not supposed to be like a direct comparison.
Yeah, but I can't.
It's just about complacency.
I need more, Dan. I need more.
If anyone has success,
there's a logic problem with this story.
The burden of success is complacency. It's a natural part of the human condition that if you experience success, that you're like, oh, I've done it now. I'm successful. I've beaten all of my opponents. The trick from that point is to maintain consistency, because you have to work really hard for that. And most teams are like, oh, we've done the hard work. We want our payoff. This is our payoff now. But then during your payoff is when other teams take you over. So I think it's about complacency. I don't know. Maybe, you know, people on Twitter can correct us, but it's time, James. There's no more time to talk about hares and tortoises. This is time to start the match.
Indeed, it is. Pasha's somebody, not Pasha, TaZ is somebody who I've seen play. Actually, it's relevant because they're on the T side. I'm talking about M4s. He sometimes plays silent, sometimes aim 4A4. But at this point, I'm going to have to wait quite a while to find out what he's playing on Cobblestone. The first of two Cobblestones in a row between these two sides. Again, they've picked against each other. And that does make me very curious as to how the rounds will evolve. Two best of 30s. Lots of opportunities for them to evolve. And again, it's another round from Virtus.pro where they've got two guys on utility. They had one on Mirage recently, which didn't really work out. Small sample size, so it doesn't mean it's good or bad. Pasha going for a push. He's trying to sell a fake. I think they're trying to split the A site through Connector. Snax and Neo make their way in, and there is a rotation from Magicboy. But there's an opportunity for these CTs to isolate CTs. Magicboy on the site on his own, and MSL over towards Long on his own. But again, the plan is an interesting one, but it's simply they're getting shot in the head. Similar to what happened on Mirage. And now it's byali alone. So we can see that Virtus.pro have been in the lab. Again, they had, I think on Mirage on their T side, they tried a pistol round strategy that had 3 people on utility. I'm assuming, again, there's a high frequency of headshots in pistol rounds, so maybe they feel like they don't need the Kevlar as much as they might in other rounds. So they'll go for some interesting utility plays. Not going to work out on this occasion either, but interesting to see how that develops.
And the 4 spies in for Virtus.pro, and they're going to just go for the A play, or they will make their way towards there. Let's see how far they get. We've got quite a few Dignitas players to worry about. First of all, it's Magicboy, able to take down Neo. He's got the M4, so pretty strong rifle by there. I like that Dignitas prioritize the rifles here. There's lots of ways to interpret how to deal with it. You know the 4 spies coming, and how do you best deal with it? Some teams will say, okay, we all need UMPs, so we can maximize that utility. We can use it against, if they save, possible AKs. But against Virtus.pro, Dignitas are like, you know what? It's Cobblestone. We got the ranges. Let's get the rifles out immediately. And it's considering that UMPs do very well against armor. It's I think it's quite a cool choice that they've made, and it shows confidence in their individual skills too. Although that was a bit of a long spray, so we will get traded there, config, and there might be an opening here for Virtus.pro.
That's an important frag for TaZ to take out the Mag 7, even if he falls to Magic's boy. Nobody on the site for Dignitas just yet, but the range will do the job. They lost 3 players there, so that turned out to be quite expensive. And now that will make their, assuming this round is successful for Dignitas, might make things awkward. Okay, they can still manage to share the wealth, so not so awkward after all. What has Config got? He's got an M4C. Good. cajunb is, okay, so there is awkwardness. cajunb is presumably going to wait until he has to wait until the next round, I guess, to pick up an AWP. Magic's boy going for a push there. What do you think of this, Dan? Because, again, this is the round where Virtus.pro can't buy anything.
Yeah, I don't like it, really. Obviously, you can always be a bit outcome-oriented, be like, oh, he died, it sucks. I think the aggression is a little bit needless, because one of the reasons why you'd want to do it maybe against a force buy where you can make the argument is because you want a fast rotation or you want a fast flank, because you feel like they're going to rush somewhere, so they won't have a spread on the map. But they just, as you said, they only have Glocks and like no anything else, and 3 players died for Dignitas. That's a really big problem. This happened to them yesterday as well. There was a lot of spots where they just actually lost way too many players on anti-ecos. That wasn't even anti-force buy. That was anti-Glock no Kevlar. That's really terrible. That's not a good way to start off, is it? They will continue with the mag though.
I think cajunb was $50 short, or maybe a bit more, of AWP, no helmets. So he's opted for the M4. There was a pause, but he's opted for the M4. So some of the problems caused by losing so many players repeatedly. And here comes the buy round, so maybe things will get worse. Not going to be too aggressive this time. Magic's boy and MSL towards A long to start with. One less player in B than usual. Virtus.pro with a slow approach at the moment, looking to take some initial control of the underpass. Where is that? That's a nice smoke. Right then, so another fake coming out from Virtus.pro. Patch is going to be the sacrificial lamb once again. Pop flashes. He's in the smoke, dancing around. And MSL may have missed the information towards the underpass.
And the push is close now. TaZ jumping up, leaping forward. I think yes, he did, I think. TaZ is going to be aware that there's players on long. But it's very important for them to survive. They don't have to take the engagements. They can allow the bomb to go down. They can use that long position to spring forth for the retake. But their teammates are just dying all over the place here as they try to get in position for the retake. Virtus.pro are aggressively taking the battles and winning them. Very nice round from Virtus.pro. I did like Dignitas' initial approach. They had 3 players towards A for the setups and just 2 on B very early in the round. Conversely to what you normally see, which is often going to be the CTs putting 3 players towards B just in case of those rush timings really early on. Maybe 4 players more commonly. Much like you see on Dust 2, 3 players go to long straight away at the start of a round, but then their setup changes to various things afterwards, just so they can be safe against the rush timing. Dignitas didn't do that. They actually went 3 towards A, which tells you a lot of knowledge they have on Virtus.pro. And let's not forget, they recently did play Virtus.pro at the LAN that they won, WESG. Or Virtus.pro were present at the LAN. They didn't. They got top 4, I believe.
This looks like it may be a difficult map for Dignitas. Again, they are very good at adjusting on their T side at least. Are they able to do so on the CT side? Config with the opening kill, and he's going to rotate the AWP immediately. Will Virtus.pro read that, or will they keep heading towards A? Again, 3 players, Neo, Snax and TaZ, around the A site. I think Config might have spotted them. MSL will try and slow them down with the smoke. So Virtus.pro, they've shown presence towards A, and with byali still holding position on plateau, seems they may be headed elsewhere now.
Yeah, Virtus.pro has some really nice defaults, to be honest. It's very hard to predict what they're going to do in these rounds. But this could be really nice for Dignitas. They've already got that one-man advantage to even out or mitigate the weapon disadvantage that they have. Here goes Snax. Good nades coming in from Virtus.pro as they go for the split onto the B-bomb side. We have cajunb waiting patiently there on plateau for a player, but it's byali and he's got a quick frag to deal with cajunb, and it's looking very smooth here from Virtus.pro. What great execution. I didn't know the Dignitas could even really fire a shot off, really. That it was nice.
Yeah, the bomb's been lost. Sorry, the AWP's been lost as well for the CT side. No money in the bank for them, so they're going to be headed towards an eco. Virtus.pro wiping out the early advantages here off the CT side and wiping out the CTs themselves. 4 players surviving for them. Dignitas on 2k each, so now we get to observe Virtus.pro's anti-eco strat, or we can see if Dignitas are going to have anything novel. They don't have the money to really bring any utility into this round for some shenanigans, and indeed they will literally spend nothing. 5 USPs. They've got a standard set up as well, 3 towards B and 2 towards A. So nothing special in mind here for Dignitas. They will start that 0-7 song, Waiting to Die.
It's really sad because in that last round where they had a 5 versus 4 situation where Virtus.pro then went onto the B-bomb site, imagine if they don't lose, what was it, 3 players on the round where they played just against Glocks. They have actually a bunch of rifles in that situation instead of just pistols and armor. So that would look like a completely different round. I think. I would imagine that they would have a very strong possibility to win it instead. So it's quite a sad situation for them. Right now, Virtus.pro seem to be very methodically taking back control of the match after losing that pistol round. And I just really love how methodical Virtus.pro are with their default rounds. It makes it so hard for a CT side to understand what is coming. And on a map like Cobblestone as well, you really need to figure it out, and you don't have much to work with to get that information. It's a tough map in that respect.
On to the next buy, Dignitas. No AWP, because no money. Snax is going to be rocking the AWP. I'm going to put my second screen onto Snax, because that's quite curious. Snax, Neo, Pasha, the more common AWPers on the Virtus.pro side. Again, they have an ever-rotating system of in-game leaders, AWPers, and whoever knows what else. Magic's boy going for a peek. And there are always T's hanging outside, waiting for that kind of stuff. Early disadvantage. Neo gets taken down elsewhere, but time is definitely on Virtus.pro's side. And now Dignitas are forced away from long. Snax holding angles. See the smoke drop by the CTs. So they won't have much information. Still 2 in both directions for Virtus.pro. Maybe waiting for another overextension from Dignitas to open the map up some more.
Yeah, Virtus.pro looking to see if Pasha can get something done here. If he gets a quick couple kills, that's going to shut down the round. There is one. And, Dignitas rotating. They're rotating straight away from that A-bomb site. It's only Pasha on B. This has worked perfectly for Virtus.pro. Pasha is taking his time, just delaying, finds himself another kill. And finally he goes down, but this is now a save for Dignitas. It's just, I mean, this is so far to run. The choke points are too severe. They have no utility. They just need to save what they have. They got outplayed pretty heavily in this round as well.
I really love the timing of Virtus.pro's push while the fake is being sold, because I feel like a lot of teams wait too much. Maybe they're being too careful, and they're unable to exploit the all the merits of their fake because they've waited so long, and then the CT start to move back, so they'll be closer to the site, etc. Virtus.pro some great timing on that occasion. 3 players moving into the next round for the polls.
And the cool thing about this so far is that it really does feel like there's nothing flashy going on for VP. It's just very consistent, methodical play. I keep using that word, but I think it's an appropriate one to get themselves the pickoffs, the advantages, and then close down the advantages with the round-winning plays. And there's just nothing flashy about it, and I really like that so far. Dignitas on a pretty, I mean, it's suboptimal a suboptimal buy. It's a buy, I suppose.
Well, it is a buy, definitely. I can confirm that. It is a buy. I like talking literally to troll you. Virtus.pro take the lead. Config has taken a lot of damage. Where is the Mag 7? There's 2 players towards B. And RUBINO, he's in the drop. Okay. He's in the drop, waiting to deliver. If anybody comes to some mail. Config might wish he had a Mag 7 in this situation. Being stuck there with all of 17 HP. And again, Virtus.pro perhaps waiting to see if Dignitas will push again and try and get some info. It's going to be all 5-man on the road towards B. Nicely timed smoke grenade from Dignitas. That's going to waste just shy of 20 seconds for the VP boys. But they're lining up the smokes behind it. 2 players on a very long rotation for Dignitas. Will we see a Molotov onto the tree? I love me some trees on fire. There's the meat grinder in process. TaZ with a 2-man spray down. And cajunb needs to go nuclear here. So far, so good. Buying time for his teammates to rotate. 20 seconds on the clock. And down goes 1 player in connector, leaving MSL alone versus 3. No one on the team's got money. Will he continue to pursue? High flashbang coming in. But the money will slow him down. Gets him the kill, though. He's got 2 more to find. You can see Virtus.pro setting up for crossfire. TaZ ready to pop out from the statue area with Pasha behind the tree. Another successful round for Virtus.pro. They're heading towards 16k for the most part. Neo won't let anyone drop for him, so he's got $1,250, but TaZ has got $98.50 in the bank.
And again, just consistency. It just makes me happy to see such consistency. Dignitas, you know, they made a mistake. They overextended it when they had a situation where they had the advantage, and they're still suffering from that. We saw, you know, some marginal or, you know, suboptimal buys for them as a result. Even, you know, recently, it still seems like they're hurting from that situation. But that's nice. What else does MSL have? Unfortunately, that nade is going to completely miss. But oh, MSL. He keeps being allowed to take pot shots there, and another player goes down. That happens sometimes. Let's see how Virtus.pro deal with it, as it will be kind of awkward now, but they should be okay if they do this right. And looks like TaZ will find himself the entries required, although now it's just Neo, but still, 1 versus 2, he's got the weapon advantage. He should be good for this.
CZ on pashaBiceps may be the key weapon here. Config's been known to have a few Deagle highlights as well. No rifles collected by these chaps, but not aware of Neo's presence. Now they are. And they set up in time. pashaBiceps going for the aggression. He's done some damage, and now it's just a 1 dig away, but Neo, as he does, clutches again. MSL put himself in a really good spot there. He limited quite a lot how wide he could be peaked, which means that he doesn't have to move his crosshair around too much to find a headshot. Manages to put his team in a good spot in an unlikely situation. Don't take it over the line, but at least cajunb is back on the AWP.
Actually, the end of that round was 2 of Neo's 3 frags in total, so his fragging has been highly impactful so far. Very impactful. Config leaping to the end of the plateau here. Quite predictable, but he gets the spray through the smoke. Guesses right this time, and that's going to be big. Another early round advantage for Dignitas, this time when they have guns. So, Virtus.pro, as I've mentioned, they've been quite methodical and consistent so far, but now we get to see them tested in a different way, as they have to try to make a big play with a man down. And how do they decide to try to work this space here? Do they want to go for a drop play, get somebody into drop zone to be able to split the B-bomb side, or to just lurk as they try to push towards A? It's probably more likely that we'll see B, just because they haven't got the amount of players to safely gain presence towards A. If you think of the potential risks there, which maybe we can go into later, it is not favorable. But they force Config out. Nicely done by Config. Gets another kill falling out of the position.
Very important play from him. TaZ up close to MSL, instantly traded by pashaBiceps. Down to 2 versus 2. Now it's Neo alone. Time to clutch again. Can he get more high-impact frags and keep his consistency in that regard? Knows RUBINO's probably around here somewhere. but doesn't realize he's around the rock. And RUBINO is charging for it. One stop the plant, but in comes the plant. Can NEO get the 1v1 around it? Oh, the knife script's coming in. Spots MagicBoy up high. Oh, the snap was coming. MagicBoy with a second kill of the round. Will win for Dignitas, but again, it's an expensive round. Only one person survives. Look at the money on the T side. Even before that bomb was defused, a number of players around 2k, sorry, 7 to 9k. So Dignitas, they win a round, but they're not surviving with enough players.
Yeah, NEO almost with another clutch. I love how he jumped at that at the statue there to get the info on where the other player was, as he had an idea roughly where he was, but then that allowed him to pinpoint the location. Dignitas have to close this one down. Will they be able to get an early frag again? Let's have a look and see how Virtus.pro goes for the A presence here, because they are screwing more than presence. They're going to take control of this area. So pop flash there towards MagicBoy. Nice trade there. Both players for Virtus.pro facing at the same time onto MagicBoy. Here comes RUBINO, but it's not going to be enough here to save cajunb by A-Long. Great take here from Virtus.pro once again. Very smooth. Good trading, nice utility usage, and now they just have to close down the plant.
Cutting down the numbers one by one. Config faces reset economy. There's opportunity for him though, and now it's been taken away by Snax. TaZ was only on 2 HPs. You can see him running around in red, but this is worst case scenario for Dignitas. Are we heading towards an 11-4 in this situation?
It's really cool as well because, again, with how Virtus.pro plays some of their defaults, often you see a 3-2 split on the players. So it's actually very hard to discern what is what. Because just seeing presence there early in the round isn't any indication that they're going to just push hard. They might push slow with just, the 2 to 3 players. That's, a natural function of their default. This time it's actually a little bit different. It's a 2-3. But again, it's just a slight variation of the default, shifting the numbers. So it kind of looks the same to Dignitas. Although Virtus.pro's intentions are always going to be the B-bomb site, unless something else changes. But here you can see the classic 1-4 setup from the CTs. Very nice peak there. Often you see this on buy rounds, this kind of setup, and it goes away after the first 45 to 50 seconds. So that's another reason why Virtus.pro are just waiting. Also to see if you can get opening kills like that. That is pretty nice too.
MSL waiting for the smoke to go, and there it goes. Catches NEO reloading, but doesn't get the fatal shot in there. 3 plays left for Dignitas. MagicBoy's got some Kevlar. The CZs though are the real danger in this round for Virtus.pro. Config, has he been spotted there? Running past the flames, doesn't seem so. byali gets his bell rung. Sorry, pasha does, but there we go. Now cajunb in a nice spot to clean up. Oh, he's got no health, he's got no bullets! No bullets, loses to no health, Dan. And Virtus.pro will win another round. Good damage done by Dignitas, but again, VP rolling in cash, only 3 rounds remain in this half. And they're on pistols again.
I feel like out of all the games we've seen so far in the last week, or maybe slightly longer, I kind of feel like Virtus.pro are playing some of the best Counter-Strike out of all the games we've seen, like the overall Counter-Strike. Just like from a team aspect, strategically and tactically, it's very sharp actually. They're making Dignitas' life very, very hard. And they may be locked in on just 4 rounds had they not won the pistol. I'd be very sad to see what would possibly have happened. And it's going to be an interesting test to see if Dignitas can do the same kind of, or have the same kind of dominance as Virtus.pro have had so far on their T side. And another good round from Virtus.pro, just cleaning up the anti-eco. And soon this formality will be over, and it will be a 9-4 result for Virtus.pro. cajunb launching himself in there. Please take me now. He will be taken by the Virtus.pro players.
Right then, 2 rounds left. Are we going to see 11-4, or can Dignitas change the score somewhat? cajunb back on the AWP, as this Snax is going to be continuing on his. So let's see what VP have in store. 2 players going long again for the Dignitas side. Fairly standard stuff. Between 1 or 2 towards A. Pasha going deep quickly now, like old Cobble before those stairs appeared, but they've got a Molotov in position, as you can see, to slow down any shenanigans. And again, Pasha showing presence, but then backing off. Also trying to avoid any counterplay with pop flashes. Can always be very dangerous. Config caught out of position though. Kills on both sides of the map. What do Dignitas do in this situation? The bomb is not visible. It's miles away. They have no idea what the true intentions of Virtus.pro are.
And the 4 positions are just the big problem. All the kills come, and it doesn't look too horrendous. 2 versus 3, definitely winnable for the CTs, but it's the positioning that's really a problem because, again, I think that Snax here, they're running there. Looks like it doesn't even really matter too much because Dignitas are going to go for the save. And will Virtus.pro try to hunt them down? I think Virtus.pro have bags of money. Absolute loads. Oh, the money's not super amazing.
There's one round left.
There's one round left anyway.
So max money, basically.
So it would be really worth them going for the kills here.
Yeah, they've got pretty much nothing to lose in this situation.
And a lot to gain. I mean, if they take the AWP out of the hands of cajunb, the CTs can't afford an AWP next round. And the AWP can be a big difference maker always. So looks like it's just byali who's really actively hunting. I mean, well, I suppose Snax is as well, but he's just taking it pretty easy over by B. Ooh. I don't know actually if TaZ, or rather byali spotted him, but
yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
They're on Old Inferno, part of the crawl space into mid. It comes up on the radar, even though you're not actually visible. So you never know when there are going to be glitches like that. So this is Dignitas' last buy. 3 FAMASs. cajunb retains the AWP. And RUBINO the AK. 3 men in A now for Dignitas. They're trying to be reactive to Virtus.pro. But really, do they know what is coming? They've been good at disguising their intentions, keeping the bomb away. But this time, they seem hell-bent on the A site. Virtus.pro, the entire team is here. Very different round to the previous ones where Pasha was constantly pressuring. Yeah, not checking the blind spot. That's 2 down for MSL. Could that be a round winner for them? Magic's getting pop flash, trying to spray, but he can't get anything fatal. MSL with the bomb. Doesn't have the best of hiding places. But his team are here as well. It's a nice snap from Snax. I think he got boosted up for that one.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that's such a great way to handle it. And that smoke being down made MSL unsure to go backwards towards danger. And it's just falling apart now for Dignitas. It was such a nice hold initially for MSL, but it's really falling apart. Was it MSL that had an insane score against some team on Cobblestone not so long ago? I have to hold that fort. Config's trying to go for it, but he's going to get shut down in the end. 1 versus 3, too much to handle. And but yeah, I mean, MSL had some great moments in this matchup, but Virtus.pro, I mean, they played so well, honestly. Like, there was nothing really flashy from an individual perspective. They just got the kills they were supposed to get. They made just really concerted, confident, calm, methodical plays like they would always do. In fact, they're looking much better on this Cobblestone than they have in any other online match I've probably casted them in our previous leagues, where they look like they're, as you were talking about, they can have anyone can be the in-game leader, anyone can be the AWPer. It just kind of looked like that. Everything looked chaotic, but this looked really together.
They're coming off recent good LAN performances, which is probably a boost for them as well. Or maybe it's just a good run. They've had a long underwhelming run, so perhaps it's a long overwhelming run. Who knows? Dignitas certainly looking overwhelmed in that first half. Now it's their turn to bring the offense, but will they be able to do it? We will soon find out. 4 rounds for the Dignitas side, and now it's their turn to bring out the pistol strat. So Virtus.pro willing to take some risks in their pistols, and again, they're showing increased utility across a number of maps. 2 people with grenades, maybe 3 people back to Mirage. So I feel like the utility, they probably feel like they can get more out of the utility than they can from Kevlar, considering how everyone's just popping heads anyway in pistol rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's true, because it's hard to find edges in pistol rounds, and a lot of teams, I think, kind of invite the variance by saying we will just have Kevlar, so we have no control over certain areas, because that's what the grenades give you. It's like, okay, at least we can have a smoke down here. At least that means that the CTs, for them to get a kill through that smoke, they're gonna have to get quite lucky or spam wildly, and And if they're doing that, maybe they're not gaining ground elsewhere, so they shouldn't really be doing that in most cases. Like, it actually gives you somewhat, some control to the situation. So I like that a lot. And I guess maybe they can start to change the meta a little bit, because it mostly is just pretty chaotic, to be honest, for most teams on the pistol round. There's not many teams that have tried to be creative. I know NIP for a while with Threat, that they tried to get quite creative, but they've moved away from that now as well. So maybe they didn't find too much success with it. Maybe Virtus.pro can be the ones that can really bring a big resurgence into utility.
I do wonder if there's more utility possible with Molotovs on pistol rounds on a T side. Obviously, at the moment, the only one I can think of is on Train, where you bounce it off the door to try and stop diffusers from coming in. But I mean, ultimately in pistol rounds, there's so much time you have to kill people. You have to kill people. So the
other thing I got to say that I really like about the pistol rounds for the T side, and I think is a really big argument for the utility, is there's so much value in getting the bomb down. Whenever the bomb goes down as a T side, I always feel like there's a huge relief there, because I know now at least you don't have to force by next round. I know now at least there are options in the next round if you want to go for if you have that play, that really cool Tech 9 rush with some grenades, or you have all these options to pressure. Whereas if you lose the pistol round, then it's like, oh god, now we have to force by, and now maybe we won't get anything done. Maybe we will fail on pressure. Then we have a round of Glocks, and then obviously it's very unlikely we'll get any pressure there. So then all this pressure's on that force by, because if you don't get damage, then the CTs start off with really good economy, and that's always really annoying to play against as a Ts. So just getting the bomb down, I feel like, is so valuable. Even if you lose a round, you have so many options as opposed to the alternatives. So I really like utility to secure at least the bomb down.
Second half is coming, guys. Just tech issue being resolved, but we should be good to go in 60 seconds or less, I'm told. So we'll stay tuned for that. Yeah, we'll see. I don't expect utility shenanigans from Dignitas in their pistol round. It's quite cute though. I like the A splits through connector. That's quite interesting. It's just matter of fact that they got shots in the head.
Yeah.
But there we go. Maybe we'll see more sample size in future. They've had different things on Mirage versus Pro, but it's time to put the torch onto Dignitas and shine the lights on them a bit now, as they are the aggressor. Speaking of which, Snax is already pushed all the way through to A, so if there are no flashes here for Neo to or anyone to slowly peel players down, and indeed, they might be doing exactly the same thing, but look at Snax's position. He is behind them, but behind the rock. Down goes RUBINO. Can he take MSL as well, having to reload the gun, but that's getting mad funky. Airtime. Bomb being planted, though.
Yeah, really important kills there by Snax. And yeah, Dignitas, they made their nades work really well this round. Secured the bomb plant immediately. Great split. I just have to hold down in the fights. And so far, it's not looking too good now. pasha picks himself up a frag. Oh no, just cajunb left, and his position is a little bit suspect. He's got a Glock as well, so he's not got the best tool for the job. Emil make his way in, just peeking. And the defuse, is it being held up by Neo? I'm not sure if he's even holding it. Oh, he was just holding it right at the end, so lovely stuff there. That retake was pretty nice from Virtus.pro, and that's really going to add insult to injury. Let's not forget as well, Dignitas, they have 4 rounds. They won the pistol round last half. So now Virtus.pro get to win their pistol round, and Dignitas, they're in a lot of trouble. In fact, I love that they're going for the 4-buy here after getting the bomb down, because they are a lot of rounds behind.
Yeah, and they understand their situation, which is awesome to see. Moving through towards B, the numbers game. Look at all the utility they have. Now, we saw a lot of games yesterday where people were dying with loads of utility. I don't think that's going to be the case here. No, one Molotov on the side. That may force pasha from his position, and indeed it will. A bit towards the fountain. Got a player in for support though. Range advantage being used by Virtus.pro. Near running out of bullets, getting taken down, but pasha's here to clean up. Nice spray transfer there. 1 HP and he'll get eliminated. Config alone. Bomb's not down yet. They try and push through the smoke and do what he can. He's got less than 5 HP now, and he will also fail. Dignitas took the right decision, but it wasn't successful.
Yeah, I really love that. I mean, a lot of people will say, oh, no, why wouldn't they wait 1 round, play with the AKs and so on? They just don't want to allow Virtus.pro to start off with a good economy. And I love this mindset where you're playing to win. In that sense, you're not afraid to take a risk like that, because you really want to get back into the game. Okay, sure, now they're in a pretty poor spot, But we'll have to see, whether they can find a recovery. Snax doing the usual Snax things there. Oh my god. I mean, you talk about this before, the position where you kind of stand in front of the smoke, so you block them, and they all line up for you like that. So it's actually really favorable in a round like this.
That was quite nice on Inferno balcony as well. If people were going for a Nico or a force by rush off balcony, you could just drop a smoke in the door, crouch in front of it, and then just spray. Just spray them, or burst rather, as they come through one by one. Or get 2 Molotovs in there, like Virtus.pro did to Astralis back in Star Series.
That's a long time ago.
It was indeed. I miss the all the Bavarian food, which...
Yeah, I miss going to Eastern Europe. I really like Eastern Europe.
Magic's boy has a minute on the clock. And a smoke. Good luck. Actually dinked byali, in fairness. But didn't have the best weapon for the job. So 14-4. The AK is coming out for Dignitas. They've managed their economy as best they can, all things considered. So indeed, here they will come with the Kalashnikovs. They've got enough utility to go for some semblance of an MSL execute, should that be what is required.
Ooh. Snax got caught. He was there for days, James. He's like, I want this peak, man. He got punished though, he got punished hard. TaZ is about to get completely wrecked as well, barely able to escape the fire. Staying in position though. He knows he's gonna have to fight. And somehow, because NEO pops in just at the right moment, they actually have a favorable fragging situation. That's unreal, considering that they lost Snax for free at the start of the round. They're actually in a great position now. And they know where the bomb is. Very hard for Dignitas to deal with this position. But Magic's boy will win his 1 versus 1, and now things can start going the way of Dignitas. Boom, there it is. Nicely done.
From out of nowhere. I thought Virtus.pro had outmaneuvered them towards A long, but hey-ho, Dignitas get around on the board. And that's broken the money for too many Virtus.pro players for them to go for a full buy. Of course, they're going to go for a full buy then. 2 AWPs to boot. They do not want Dignitas getting back into this game. So they have taken an aggressive decision. They will feel that they are strong enough to make it work. We'll see if they are. Dignitas going for a fast play, but 2 for 1 from NEO. That is not a great start. They're still on the balcony, and it's target practice for NEO. Another kill towards the end there, and he's very happy with that.
Those flicks from NEO look really, like he's really angry. It's like the snap from NEO is just amazing. Bosh, that was pretty good. That was pretty round winning. That double frag right as they're entering the bomb site. That alleviates so much pressure, and that's how you win those rounds. So 15-5, and it seemed as though it was always meant to be with the start that Virtus.pro had, even though it was a slow start because they lost the pistol round in the first half. But now it's just gunning down the pistoling players of Dignitas as they approach, and it's just cajunb left. He's found himself an M4, but he's been spotted now, and he basically just has to out-duel his opponents, and he takes a dink straight away from byali, gets the frag, but he's down to 10 HP. That's a rough situation for cajunb, and he's got no idea where the rest of the team is. He thinks one must be by the balcony at least, or by the APC, but there's NEO close. Oh, cajunb's making this doable now.
pasha's got the AK though. And full health. cajunb's rotating away. He has possession of the bomb. Is he willing to go all the way, or is he just expecting another player? pasha hears the sound of the weapon being dropped. cajunb's opted to pick up the AWP. He wants the engagement here. He can't afford to dance around the APC in the site. Oh, this is crazy. As pasha's going back down the hill again, as cajunb makes his way onto the site. I think if cajunb manages to plant the bomb, then he's going to be in a very disadvantageous situation, because all the places... Well, I mean, it's pretty bad for him either way, in fairness. pasha coming up from long now, as you can see him there on the X-ray. And surely cajunb is never checking this angle.
Yeah, really smart play from pasha so far. It is the classic, will cajunb flick? No, pasha just barely able to get the frag there before cajunb can spot him. And that's going to be that. Defuse comes in, Virtus.pro, very decisive cobblestone. And the way that they won this Cobblestone gives me so much confidence for them moving forwards, because it was all about the consistency of their strategy and the clean execution of their tactical plays behind the strategy to make the strategy work. I mean, we didn't see too much glory, James, but there was, I suppose, glory in how it all came together in the end.
Yeah, and you have to wonder, both these teams picked this map into each other. So Dignitas are going to have that to think about for a few minutes before we move into the second map between these two teams, which of course is going to be Cobblestone. That's coming up after the break. We'll see you back here in a few minutes.